Okay, this one's the Ameritron AL-1200. I picked a 1500 and a 1200 at a local swap a few days ago and wanted to get to them to see what I got or what I needed and all that. And looks like I lucked out this time. You know, the 1500, I posted a few videos. It works great. And now come to find out the 1200 works great also. Same chassis, the AL-1200, 1500, and AL-82 use the same chassis, same power supply. They just changed the tube in it. So here's the inside. If you've seen this before, it's because again the AL-1500 has the same layout on this. Only thing I've done to this one is it's very clean. Looks barely used. The relays were clean, didn't need cleaning. No loose screws, because I think again it had very little use. I say one loose screw. That same high voltage nut here, same as the 1500, that was loose. I don't know what it is or what they're using to tighten them down. Those two taps there are the high voltage from the transformer coming in from the transformer there. High voltage AC goes into that diode board. The diode board rectifies it and turns it to pulsating or rectified AC, and then the caps turn the rectified AC into DC. And everything was tight except that one connection right there that was screwed there. So if you have these Ameritron amps, since I found it both on the AL-1500 and the AL-1200, that same screw, maybe that's something you would want to look at when you go through these amps. I saw somebody else that said, you know, the screws do get loose in these things, so tighten your screws. And on this one, I did check some of the other screws, and everything's tight. Again, you can see that this guy did not have a lot of use. Everything was tight on it. Pretty much the same layout as the 1500. The 1500 did not have a parasitic suppressor, and as you can see there, this has a heavy-duty parasitic suppressor. Never seen one with a capacitor like that. But that's your parasitic on it. Your 3CX 1200 tube with the chimney and tank coil, band switch. Your tune input is on this front face here. This little box here got all the tune inputs inside. Those are the tuners to tune the input. One of the things another thing they did on this amp that they didn't do on the 1500 is, where's my finger? You see the little cutouts here? So you can put your tuner straight into the hole to adjust the coil there. The 1500 did not have these cutouts, so you actually had to go in at an angle to get your tuning wand into the tuners there, which I didn't like. So I'm glad that they, I guess they updated that or changed that, where you got the little cutouts so you can get your tuning tool in correctly. Didn't see anything else worth mentioning. You know, your blower, your plate choke. It's got the slow start, soft start stuff. I did put this red jumper wire across the interlock so I can run it with the cover off. Don't do that at home. Stay safe out there. But, you know, to make the video, we put that so we can jumper it so we can run the amplifier with the cover off. If you don't jumper that, you take the cover off, it opens this switch here, this micro switch, and it opens the power coming into the amplifier, so you will get nothing with the cover off. They try to do that so people don't run the amplifier like I'm about to do with the cover off, so they don't kill themselves, right? So, you know, very nice amplifier. Again, same power supply as the AL-1500 and the 1200, and also the AL-82. The grid meter is a higher scale because the 3CX-1200 tube can take a lot more grid current than the 3CX-1500 does. However, the 3CX-1200 doesn't have as much gain. It takes more drive to make this amplifier do than it does the 3CX-1500 amplifier. The over here, the multimeter is the same as the 1500. The 1500 mine, it had a red switch that lit up when you turn it on, where this one is instant on. That tube, you know, from what I read, is an instant on tube. I've seen some people say where it's actually 2 seconds of warm up. Some say immediately, and some say 10 seconds of warm up. But either way, this amplifier does not have a time delay for that 3CX-1200 tube, because they say it don't need it. It's an instant on tube. However, I'm going to turn it on now. Put it on high voltage. And on the other one, the high voltage would not come on immediately. It was a 3-minute delay, and the multimeter would not light up, you know, until that 3-minute delay passed, and then you could actually key the amplifier. No delay with that instant on tube here, and pretty much the same amplifier as the 1500 again, except this one has the 1200 tube, takes more drive. And I'm only hitting it with the ICOM 7300 over there, which does not quite put out 100 watts, especially on AM. And I'm on AM with the ICOM, so it's not going to hit it that hard. Probably not as hard as you think. So anyway, instant on. We warmed up. Even when I turn them on, I let the fan spool up. It takes about 10 seconds for the fan to spool completely up, and I don't want to key it until the fan spools up. So that's something to keep in mind. Check the fuses, checked everything, you know, before we went into operation of it, and everything checked out. This amplifier looks great, you know, in very lightly used, you know, conditions, so, and working, so we're pretty happy. Okay, we got the in watts coming from the radio on the left meter that's marked in, and the output watts on the right meter for the output. The output's on the 2000 watt scale. The input is on the 200 watt scale. So, and we're on AM. I think the output one is on peak and the input one is on average. So over here on the input one, audio. And that's all I'm getting out of the 7300 on AM. That's at 100% max. And over here on the 1200, with only, you know, 30 watts or so going into it on AM, audio, that's peak watts, mind you, but audio about 1100 watts out. Audio, peak watts on AM with 25 dead key. Audio, swinging about 35 watts bird in, 1100 peak out. Audio, everything working as she should. On this one, we did not modify the 10 meter. I'm gonna turn it off before we go back up inside again. We didn't do anything with the 10 meter tank coil or anything, because this one is squared. Don't know if you can see it with the camera, but that's more of a squared coil, at least for the coil on the left there. And it's kind of soldered in pretty good with that squared wrapped around, so we didn't want to mess with that and move that tank coil over one to play with that. I don't like how it's tuned, you know, for the plate over here close to 17-20 meters. Again, I think they do that on purpose to try to make it so it doesn't tune that well on 11 meters. So they try to keep the CBers out of these amplifiers, so they make it so it don't want to tune on 11 meters, and that's the purpose of moving that band switch. It will tune better on 11 and 12 meters with the warp bands. This one, the green wire was not cut. It was not modified for 10 meters at all. We did cut that green wire, and then we put some shrink wrap over it, and then we just tucked it in because it was, you know, rather long sticking out. So instead of cutting it down, we just unsoldered it, actually, because it's got a solder tab on it. So we unsoldered it, put some shrink wrap on it, tucked it under there, and again, on for 10 meter operation with these amplifiers, basically all you got to do is cut the green wire. And you know, if you don't have shrink wrap, put some electrical tape on there to keep it from flopping around and accidentally touching stuff, even though it won't really hurt anything unless it touches the output. One more thing, in the manual for this 1200, where's my page at? Okay, is this it? I got it buried. Alright, here it is. This came in the manual, original manual of the Ameritron 1200 amplifier. It was a separate page in there. But if you can see it, it's 10, 12 meter modification instructions for the Ameritron amplifiers, Ameritron tube amplifiers. AL-80, not the A. You need a kit to put it on 10 or 12 meters. Write them for the kit. AL-80A, to go on 10 meters, cut the green wire. And that's it. On AL-80B, AL-8011s, AL-8011H, AL-572B, cut the green wire. If the input tuning is high, is saying you can retune the input circuit. But oh, there's a picture. Cut the green wire. And then last, with the AL-82 1200s, 1500s, cut the green wire. This is from the factory. Came with the factory manual. And then on the 800, 800H, cut the green wire, or unsolder it, remove it. So basically everything except the AL-80, which is I think their first model that came out, the AL-80 non-A, which needed some work to get it up to standards. You know how like a first production car, the AL-80 needed some work, but they improved them over the years with the AL-80A and the AL-80B. But everything except the AL-80 on Ameritron to go activate 10 meters and hence 12 meters, and for the illegal CBers for 11 meters, cut the green wire from the factory. Okay, that's it for this one. Be safe out there. Peace.